Hey guys, I'm Sarah Sprague. I'm a senior exercise science major and psychology minor here at Berry. My signature life experience is on being a personal trainer for the Department of Recreation. I am a level 5 supervisor, and I also did an academic internship for the Department of Recreation as a trainer. So kind of hit two birds with one stone with that one. To start off, I really just want to say thank you to all the fac staff and clients that I've gotten to work with here at Berry. It's bittersweet to graduate, but I think this signature life experience has really impacted me and shown me a lot of growth on who I was as a person, but also as a trainer, and who I can be in the professional aspect of things once I graduate. So, thank you. To start off with, my SLE, SLE signature life experience, is just kind of diving into what exactly I did as a personal trainer. Here at Berry, we kind of do an interview process before you're even considered to be able to take the certification exam to work here. So we bring you in, we kind of ask you questions like, what do you value as a trainer? What do you think is the most important aspects of a workout? If you had this client and that couldn't do a push-up, how would you kind of think on your toes to be able to regress the workout so they were able to do it and not feel a little uncomfortable? So once we kind of get a good aspect of what direction you're headed in as a trainer, we accept you in, we offer you a job as a trainer, and from there you have to take the National Strength and Conditioning Association Certified Personal Trainer exam. So with this certification, you will be a nationally certified trainer. It's I think a $300 to $400 exam that Berry pays for, which in all honesty is absolutely amazing. One reason I love Berry is that no matter what the cost, they're going to try their absolute best to make sure that you succeed in what you want to do. So once you pass that certification exam, you will be hired on and kind of trained into understanding first assessments. So working with the software that we have here at Berry, understanding cardiorespiratory fitness assessments. So pretty much how well your body utilizes oxygen, or in better terms, cardio. How good is your cardio? Then we look at muscular strength and endurance, so push-up tests, and then we'll look at flexibility of your muscles. So that's more of just flexibility. Can you touch your toes? If you can touch your toes, how far past your toes can you touch? So we do all these sort of assessments, get a baseline of where you're at, and then from there we create your program. It's a 7-week program, working 2 days a week with your trainer, really focusing on the goals that you came in with, on what you wanted to improve, but also kind of comparing it to the baseline that you had, so you're getting an overall kind of improvement and not just very focused. So we'll have your goals, and then comparing it to the baseline, we'll do our best to make sure your goals are met, but also everything else that you need to improve on is being met as well. So after the 7-week program, you have your final assessment, which we do the same exact thing as the first assessment. We have a lovely little printout that we give you, and with that printout, it just kind of explains this is how you've improved in the last 7 weeks. Maybe you've went down in your body fat percentage and went up in your lean mass percentage, which is 100% awesome. Lean mass is just kind of muscle. It could show you that, all right, you started off with doing only 10 push-ups in a minute, and now you're up to 25, or even with your cardiorespiratory, you were at maybe 30 VO2, which is just a volume, and then now you're up to a 40. So I find it to be awesome, 100%, because having these people come in and do these baseline testings, everyone kind of feels a little nervous. They're oh my gosh, they look at the results and they're I don't know what to do. And then after the 7-week program, showing them within 7 weeks just how much improvement they made has been honestly unreal. It's been awesome to just see their reaction, that how hard they've been working is paying off. Not only that they can feel it, but also on paper. And then as a trainer, just kind of solidifying your confidence of what you're doing is helping people, and you do know what you're talking about, and you're going to change lives. So my signature life experience has definitely impacted my life 110%. I definitely can see the growth that I have made, not only as a person, but also professionally, and how it's really going to help me be a great physical therapist once I graduate school in 2021. So to begin with, when I came into this SLE, I was extremely nervous, very unsure of myself, scared to make a mistake. I didn't think that where I am now is where I could be when I was kind of beginning the program, which I definitely think has shown how I've grown as a person. So back then I was a little too cocky at times. I'd really think like, oh, I'm an athlete, I grew up around this stuff, I know what I'm talking about. I went from that to, well, there's a lot of different aspects that personal training can have, and trying to understand different types of training can really promote a growth mindset in this position. So I think I've definitely grown in the standpoint of being a little more humble as a trainer and understanding that I don't know everything, which actually conflicts a lot with me starting this program as being someone who is terrified of making a mistake. I would triple check workouts, like ask too many questions at times, like really not believing that what I was doing was quality work, when in all actuality, like I had the results that showed like every time I worked with a client, they were making big improvements and we hit every goal that they wanted to hit, and having very positive reviews. So that was a good kind of like starting ending point for me. So now like working with a client, it's like, hey, like this is where I start off with my abilities. I'm going to do my best to make sure that I can research into what you're trying to do. And if I don't understand anything, like I will try my best to look into it. And from there, we're going to make sure that we hit all your goals and get you to a good ending point after the 7 weeks. And then really kind of hopefully make an impression on them so they can kind of continue what we've started and they can really be a little more focused on the fitness aspect of the life. So going off of that, working with these different clients, like being able to talk to them, I think that Barry especially has a bunch of very understanding and compassionate students and fac staff who have really encouraged me to go out of my comfort zone as a trainer and try new things and really believe that what I was doing is helping them. And if something made them uncomfortable, like being the first to be like, hey, like I'm not really understanding this, can you please kind of give me a little more in depth of what's going on? I think that they gave a great starting point, especially for me to like understand like, okay, well maybe I'm not the best person when it comes to certain techniques and forms. Like I need to make sure that I read up on those a little more, or really focus in on aspects of cardio when it comes to foot strike. So foot strike is how your foot lands as you're running. So definitely think that helps. But I think I was kind of privileged to begin with. So a lot of the trainers that come in obviously have been fitness oriented, but I've had the privilege of being an exercise science major. So I'm basically studying the science of exercise. Taking all these classes like biomechanics, so learning how the body moves, seeing kind of like with the foundations of anatomy, so understanding like muscles and bones and how different like forms and techniques is going to put like loading on your knee joints or your hip joints, or making sure that you do the right technique so it's working your actual muscle, like your targeted muscle, and not like pulling on something else that could cause an injury. All the way to XPhys. So XPhys is basically the physiology behind exercise and how it can help you in the end. So pretty much like if you increase your cardio twice a week by 60 minutes, you could lower heart disease, you can X, Y, and Z. So being able to sit in these classes and understand kind of like the foundational things of personal training and then turning around immediately and applying it to my clients has been an absolute privilege. And I think it's definitely what helped make this experience memorable. So now when I get into grad school, I can say, well, what I've been doing in undergraduate, so learning, I went immediately from learning in the classroom to applying right away. And I think that's a good way that I learn best. So it's helped me not only in my performance as a trainer, but also in my academics, definitely boosted that. So I was able to learn how certain techniques will start to like touch on like different muscle groups. So if you do a wide arm push-up, you're hitting more into your back and chest. And then if you do like a military in-arm push-up, like you're working more tricep biceps. So triceps is the muscle back here in your arm. Your biceps is in the front. So yeah, pretty awesome. So to get on the more personal side of my SLE, one thing I absolutely loved about it is that it's helped me kind of grow into a more confident person, not only in the gym, but everywhere else. So this signature life experience has really pushed me to apply my knowledge of what I'm learning with my major or even my minor, just understanding the like psychological hoops you have to jump through with certain people to make sure that they feel welcomed, like walking into a gym, and that they stay motivated when they're there. And one class that really helped me with that was my sports psychology class. It really taught people on how to make attainable goals, so not like unreachable goals like I want to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. First of all, that it's extremely unhealthy, and second of all, like it's something you're gonna really have to sacrifice a lot for, and it's gonna be a very unhealthy option to do. Is it really a goal that you can reach in a timely manner? So really helping people set attainable goals so that they come in and they feel successful in what they're doing, and that they're fulfilled in kind of like the effort that they've put in. Not only that, but also like finding great ways on how to motivate them, or find divergent ways of thinking to explain things, because not everyone knows if you're like, hey, like make sure your knees stay behind your toes. Some people, like athletes or even people that are like pretty like self-aware of their body, are used to doing these type of techniques, can be like, oh yeah, I just have to sit back a little bit. Other people, it's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So finding creative ways on how to do that, or even like engaging your core. So one aspect of your core is obviously your abs, your abdominal muscles. For a lot of the clients, I'd be like, hey, make sure you're engaging your core, like tightening it. They're like, I don't know what that's supposed to feel like. So you kind of have to give them a situation of, oh, like if you have a sibling or a friend that tried to punch you in the stomach, like, you know, that like gut reaction where you like tighten up. That's exactly what you feel like when you keep your core engaged. So finding like cute little ways on how to tell them like, hey, this is a great way how to do something. It really relates into like what I want to do as a physical therapist, like having to work with people who have just been like in an accident and they need some sort of like therapy in order to get back to like functioning level. Being able to explain to them like, hey, like you need to make sure that this muscle can do this again. They look at you like deer in headlights, like I have no idea what you're talking about. So being able to kind of think of creative ways on how to explain it to them so that they understanding the treatment that you're doing will help them, and that the exercises are not as intimidating or hard as they're putting them out to be. And in the end, like we're just here to help you both as trainers and therapists. So yeah. Overall, I think being a trainer has made me more confident in my abilities through academics and kind of life in itself. Being able to take what I've learned inside a classroom, or just through a lot of evidence-based practice, so doing a bunch of research and looking into different things and implementing it into like everyday life, of applying it to being a trainer, or even like looking at myself like, okay, what are my workouts looking like? It's been overall positive, and it's been something very unique that Barry offers, just being able to sit down and have these conversations with people on, wow, like you don't really notice this as you're going through these experiences about how big it's impacting you or changing you. So I 100% loved this BCC class. Shout out to all my homies. You guys have been absolutely fantastic, letting me kind of be my extroverted self and talk about tons of things. So yeah, I appreciate you guys letting me kind of talk through my experiences on what this experience has done for me, and let me formulate kind of a story on what I've done and how I can share it with other people, and hopefully like show this video to someone and be like, hey, like this is what this program has done for me. Like maybe it can help you as well. Like it's something you should just kind of jump out your door and do. So yeah, stick with it. Train hard, get water, and if you need any fitness or personal training advice, you know where to find me.